Yeah, I know I can't sing. I know. Don't accuse me of being a bad singer. I don't claim to be a singer. Oh my goodness. The 7,000 plus videos that I've made, yeah, unbelievably. 7,500, I think, that I've made. I can't believe I haven't made this video. And it's actually an important one. Sometimes I jog my own memory about things that I haven't made videos about during live stream. And I'm reminded, I say self, and of course I can't remember all the videos that I made, but I can remember whether I've done something or not, and whether it's important. And this is actually an incredibly important video. Whether you like the way I actually present it or not, of course, is a different matter entirely. And it's something we should have been taught in school or college, or at least taught by our, family. But they don't teach stuff like this, and it becomes incredibly important. I have to finish this video the same way I start this, and tell you an important fact, and then elaborate on it, that wisdom is not a group activity. Wisdom is not a group activity. Yeah, and this video is not really so much about wisdom. Just bear with me for a second here. There are people that used to knock on the door. They don't really do it anymore. I mean, they might in your area. There'd be like traveling groups of people that, remember they used to have little strange propaganda booklets that they'd give out. Hello, we'd like to talk to you today about, they usually travel in pairs. One group loves to travel in pairs. Yeah, and there's another group, they don't necessarily travel in pairs. They're the ones that were famous for passing out these little, they're like little comic books. And they have little comics in them, and they'd be like life stories, and on like the last page you'd be talking about, come join our church and, come commune with us. It's like, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? There's an ancient saying that says, by their fruits shall you know them. And that is true. But you don't actually have to, if you have wisdom, wait for the tree to bear fruit. It's like, oh, that's what it is. There's a tale about somebody planting this strange fruit seed, and they didn't know what it was, and they planted it, and it took like 30 years for it to bear fruit. But right before it bore fruit, they died of old age, so they never knew what this tree was that they were nourishing. There's an old story about that. So you don't need to wait for the tree to bear fruit. Here's an important point. Yeah, I'm getting to it very briefly here. I like this video to be concise as possible. Sometimes I'm a little bit too verbose. I apologize for that. And that is within their framework of their belief system. And the one thing that I've talked about endlessly, of course, is that you are not your beliefs. That's one of the serious secrets of the world. This is a different secret that kind of hinges on that, but it's a different attribute entirely, and it's incredibly important to understand. If you do, you can actually avoid yourself a lot of headache. I've known a lot of people that have wasted their lives on just fruitless, like some of these people will like dig for gold for decades. Like, I know it's further back there. In just a few more years, I'm going to reach the mother lode, and they die on the way to reaching it. And there's people that do that in their lives with the belief systems. Do I need to state the obvious again, that nobody is their belief system? Everybody thinks they are their beliefs, and when you actually, and usually these beliefs, of course, are completely radical, they're wackadoodle, they require you to suspend common sense, logic, and wisdom. It's like, it's so nonsensical that nobody with a half a brain would believe in it. And when you say, that's really silly, and you go after the silly little beliefs, oh, how dare you? They think that you're actually going after them. It's like, no, that's not you, which would be over here. It's the silliness that you believe in, and the mistake you make due to primordial agnosis is that you think you are this silly little belief that you got, and nobody is their belief. And also, too, nobody is that thing that they see in the mirror, but that's, of course, a matter for a different discussion that I pointed out endlessly. Here's the fact, this is the big secret and the crux of this video, is that what these people believe in is not fulfilling. They don't know that themselves. It'll actually give them a superficial sense of belonging, just as if like people that like to play with toy trains or something. I never did, by the way, okay? I'm not talking about myself. Would like get together and they'd have meetings and they'd talk about toy trains and they'd trade them. And there's this warm sense that people get of the similar belief systems, You know, they come together. It's this idea of this human, this ancient genetic, almost a defect. However, it is also a strength, but mostly it's a defect where people actually there's strength in numbers, and of course there is strength in numbers. But the motto that I've lived my life by too, which is extremely accurate, is that nothing true is popular, and nothing popular is true. This thing that the people believe in, whether it's a group activity or whether they believe in it themselves or even a small group, it's not fulfilling. And the way you can actually tell what the fruit is going to be born before the fruit ever manifests on these people is that they are unfulfilled. They want to knock on your door to pass out, brainwashing literature or propaganda. It's a belief system. It's a religion, and I don't care what people believe. I'm not going after anybody's belief. People believe whatever sort of fruitiness that they want. It's perfectly fine. I don't care. I'm not interested in changing anybody or converting anybody. But people say, why don't you go after the certain entities? I got this nice flat rock here as a perfect example. Why don't you go after these people? It's flat. It's flat. I got this flat rock here. I didn't realize I had a flat rock on my table. And I said, I don't care what people believe in. Let them believe in whatever they want. I said, here's an important point, and this is, as the old saying goes, by their fruit shall you know them. You can know what a group or entity is, and there are many entities like this. I'm actually not singling out these people or any others. Is that they are unhappy believing either by themselves or in a group, whether it be large or small. They're not happy until they can suck somebody else into the vortex of this belief. It's just this black hole or this quicksand that you're going to slip into, and it just empowers them. And it's the exact same way, and it's a belief system too. These people in Washington and all over the world and the capitals, they sit in fancy marble palaces, and the more people that they can oppress and have feeding their power, it's just vortex. Yet it's not like, and there's a reason why sannyasins, sannyasins, ancient Pali word, basically means a forest-dwelling devotee, someone devoted to wisdom. They dwell in the forest for many reasons. One is to stay away from the crazy people, which of course always gather. The more people you get together, the lower the wisdom. Wisdom, we say IQ, but that's not important. Intelligence is important. Wisdom is important. And the more people you get together, the quicker the collective wisdom and common sense just goes shoop right down a vacuum. That's the other reason why they actually are forest-dwelling sannyasins or recluses. They're devotees, of course, to wisdom. The same as a person trapped down the bottom of a hole. You could say a well. There's two different types of people. It's like, I'm stuck down here. Draw me a ladder or some rope so I can get out of here. Wisdom is its own reward, too, by the way. It doesn't need either companionship, and it doesn't need any confirmation from outside of itself. And the other people that are at the bottom of a pit or a hole, a well, are people that don't want a ladder or a rope out of it. It's like, you have this silly little thing, you get this invisible belief system on your back. It's holding you down. It's blocked you from understanding. And I'm not interested in caring what you, believe one way or another, either me or anybody else with wisdom. It's holding you back. They don't want that. They want you to crawl down the hole with them. They need companionship. There's this collective power. There's a zeitgeist that manifests, and it's exactly like a talisman. Yeah? A talisman is like the same thing with, I was talking about Ouijas and these talismans that people would wear. There is nothing magical or great in the object itself. It is a focusing mechanism, just like someone's belief system. And the more that they can bring you, it's like they don't want a hand out of the hole or the well. They want you to come down. They say misery loves company. The fact that these belief systems are not fulfilling, they are not wisdom-based, they're not even wisdom-centric, they're not even pointed at wisdom, which is self-proximity from the standpoint of monistic metaphysics. They are not fulfilling. The way they are fulfilling is if they could draw more people into that vortex. Like, I don't want it out of the well or the hole. I don't need a rope or a ladder. I want you to come down here and engage with me. We'll share the same beliefs will share the same misery. We can be miserable together, and in that misery we will find comfort. And those are the people and the entities and the groups. And this is no different than these people in D.C. or any other capital or country in the world. They want all these pipelines of people's will, kind of like an electrical grid, an invisible electrical grid from your submissions. Like, okay, and I'm just a peon, you're the big government people, I'm going to, do whatever you say. This is the difference, too, between a citizen and a subject. A citizen is not only free, but a citizen also has a free mind. The free mind, of course, is due to wisdom, logic, understanding. They're not interested in being brainwashed by other people. Propaganda, no different than the people that will show up at your door. Hey, we got some comic books to pass out to you. We'd like to know if you've heard about Guru Bada Bing, or hey, we've got this deep pit. Church. We have this deep pit that we meet together on Saturday nights and we all commune. You could crawl down the hole with us, in a dark hole of ignorance. Crawl down a dark hole of ignorance together. We can commune. You see, if these people had wisdom, or if their beliefs were fulfilling, they would not be so incredibly empowered to not consciously, rather subliminally. They don't know they're doing this. They know they're knocking on doors. They know they're trying to get people to fall into the same trap. But they don't consciously know what they're actually doing is that, well, it's a silly little, because they have no wisdom, extremely little. This little belief system isn't happy unless it's got some company. Here we go, I got someone else to believe in the same silliness I do. If it were fulfilling, if it were wise, it would not impel anybody to either knock on doors or try to brainwash somebody. It's like, where's my flat rock at again? Here we go. Yay! I have a Sharpie marker. I could draw the continents on top of it. I could draw Antarctica around the rim of it. That was just one example of many countless ones. Wisdom is not a group activity. You don't need to wait for these trees, if you will, to bear fruit. It's like, oh, there's a pear tree. Oh, that's an apple tree. Oh, that's a Honeycrisp tree. I thought it was a Red Delicious apple tree, but no, it's like a Gala apple tree. Yeah, you don't need to wait for that. These people can be identified by their leaves, for example, I guess you could say, before it bears fruit. It's like, oh, that's what it is. Yeah. These people are unfulfilled. If they were fulfilled, they would have no need to try to suck somebody into this, here's my belief. It's not very fulfilling. But if I could get like 5 other people to believe it, then I'd be so happy. That's literally what it is going on up here, not externally. I was using that as a humorous example of what's going on in their heads up here, which is quite often cuckoo, cuckoo. Even though I've used humor through a good bit of this video, the point I'm making, and nobody talks about this, and I've never seen a video or article about it, that these people are unfulfilled. Wisdom is its own reward, and wisdom is not a group activity. They are not happy, and happy is the wrong word, but for lack of a very, very precise word. There's a great Greek and Pali word for it, however. They're not happy unless someone else can be sucked into it too. Ah, this is better. It's kind of like if you get a lot of bodies together, like a body itself is cold. If you get enough bodies together, like around you, it's like, oh, I got all these people believing in it. It's like body heat will start to warm you up, so you're cold. It's like, oh, this is so unfulfilling, I'm so cold. You surround yourself with these other bodies, like, ooh, it's nice and warm now. Yeah, now we're rocking. These beliefs are unfulfilled. So shall you know them, not just by their fruits, but before their fruits, the fact that they are unfulfilled and they are trying to draw you in. Yeah? It's like, why would I want to be sucked into that which you believe in, since you are obviously unfulfilled? Because you're going door to door, for example. or internet to internet, or email to email, trying to suck people in. It's like, I don't want out of the hole. I want you to come down here with me. We could both be miserable together. Really are two people. Ones that want to hand up out of the hole, like, let me get you out of that hole. They're like, no. And the other people that want you to come down with them. The fact that it is unfulfilling is the reason why these people reach out to others. You know, if it were fulfilling, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care about drawing you or me or anybody in. They wouldn't care about it. They'd be like, ah, this is fulfillment. I truly understand now. Only wisdom does that. No, it is unfulfilling. I think I made my point. I spent an extra few minutes on that, but I did express myself in a quasi-humorous fashion for effect. I hoped effectively so. Yeah. Here's a lesson, a great secret that I've not seen anybody else talk about, not seen a YouTube video about, and that's the reason why I wanted to make it. And in live stream, my memory was jogged, and I thought, Self, you've not made a video about this very important secret. Anyway, I hope you like it. If you want to contact me, my email's in the description below. Yeah, any donation is always warmly welcome. And I'm going to go back to reading comments, because I do read every comment. Even the bad ones where people are angry, like, I don't like your video. You rubbed me the wrong way. That's my imitation of a cat. No, I don't have a pet cat or a dog. I'm allergic to cats, actually. So, Lux Veritas, have a lovely weekend, and goodbye.